Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the adrenaline-fueled world of taxi drifting. Today, our fearless driver embarks on a mission like no other. Posing as an unsuspecting taxi driver, little do the passengers know that they're about to experience the ride of their lives. Our driver, armed with nerves of steel and a souped-up taxi, weaves through the bustling streets of City 1. Passengers hop in, blissfully unaware that they're about to become part of a high-octane drift adventure. First stop, Mrs. Johnson, a sweet old lady with a penchant for floral hats. She settles into the back seat, clutching her grocery bags. But wait, the engine roars, tires screech, and suddenly, Mrs. Johnson is thrown into a sideways slide. Her eyes widen, and she clings to the door handle. "Oh my, is this a shortcut?" she stammers, as the taxi drifts around a corner, narrowly missing a fruit stand. Our driver grins, adrenaline pumping. "Just sit tight, Mrs. Johnson. We're taking the scenic route." Next up, Mr. Patel, a businessman glued to his phone. He barely looks up as he slides into the taxi. But as the tires grip the asphalt, he drops his phone, eyes wide. "What kind of taxi service is this?" he mutters. "The kind that defies gravity," our driver replies, executing a flawless drift between two delivery trucks. Mr. Patel's tie flaps in the wind, and he clings to the headrest. "I didn't sign up for this," he protests. But our driver isn't done. The Tokyo Drift Park awaits, a neon-lit maze of hairpin turns, tight corners, and heart-stopping drops.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss. No. In the heat of controversy.
As the sun sets, the taxi hurtles toward the entrance. "Hold on, folks," the driver announces. "We're about to enter the drift zone." Inside the park, neon lights blur, and the taxi dances on the edge of control. Passengers scream, laugh, and maybe even regret their life choices. But our driver? They're in their element. Left, right, power slide, the driver calls out, and the taxi pirouettes like a ballerina on steroids. Mrs. Johnson clutches her hat, and Mr. Patel's phone flies out the window. then, the finish line. A cloud of tire smoke, cheers from the imaginary crowd, and a triumphant skid to a stop. "Thank you for riding with Taxi Drift," our driver says, popping the door open. Mrs. Johnson stumbles out, still clutching her hat. Mr. Patel staggers, phoneless and wide-eyed. "Best taxi ride ever," Mrs. Johnson declares. "I need a new phone," Mr. Patel mutters. And our driver? They tip their imaginary hat, rev the engine, and vanish into the night.